What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. Welcome to the very first waiver wire video of the season. These are my week 2 waivers. Let's start off with the bad and the ugly before we get to the good. My fantasy woes of the week go to Adrian Peterson, 19 carries for only 31 rush yards, no receptions. I would worry a little bit, but I do believe he'll turn things around by week 3, week 4 the latest. The next fantasy woes has to go to the entire Rams team. Todd Gurley, 20 touches for only 42 total yards of offense. The Rams offense was horrible. If you started the Rams defense, you have a sad face. That was just a terrible performance. 49ers won 28-0. I'm sure you've already heard if you were on Twitter or alive. I have lots of great waivers for you guys today. 49 total names. Let's go. Here are some of my previously mentioned waivers. We have Alex Smith. He's a decent QB2. Look at this schedule right here. Week 4 at Pittsburgh. Week 5 a bye. Make sure you know that because he's going to likely be your QB2. It's important to know his bye week. Week 6 at Oakland. Week 7 versus New Orleans. Week 8 at Indy. And Week 9 versus Jacksonville. All sweet matchups. I think the Chiefs are going to have to throw the ball a little bit more, like I've talked to you guys about on previous videos, my sleeper videos, my sleeper articles, and of course the podcast. Make sure you guys check out the podcast, download the Fantasy Couch mobile app. Make sure you guys do that. I'll provide a link below so you guys can download the app. Theo Riddick is a must-own in PPR leagues and is a good pickup if you're in deep leagues. James White, I would pick him up only in PPR leagues. And we already mentioned these names before: Terrell Pryor, Cole Beasley, Philip Dorsett, Michael Thomas. I think he'll have better games looking forward. He may have been a little bit injured. He was questionable on the injury report. Jermaine Kearse could be nearly as good as Lockett, so better value in the draft than Lockett if you took Lockett, if Lockett was going round 7, for example. And Tajay Sharp, a guy that shouldn't be on waivers but is. And of course, Tyler Boyd, I think he'll be better towards the end of the season. For quarterbacks, you can drop RG3. He's going to miss at least a few weeks. Could be out the entire season if you had RG3, that is. Another quarterback to look at is Matt Ryan, but make sure you check up on the status of Julio and Sanu, Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu. They seem to be hurt. Probably not significant at all, but just make sure you keep tabs on that. Those are the 2 biggest targets over there in Atlanta. Also, Matt Ryan has some sweet matchups at Oakland, then at New Orleans for week 2 and week 3. For running backs, got to pick up Tevin Coleman, Sharkandrick West. Not a great pickup, but if you're in a deep league or need RB depth, you can go with Sharkandrick West. Shane Vereen is okay in PPR leagues only. Same thing with Chris Thompson, PPR only. And we're getting a little deeper here, but Travis Cadet, not too bad if you're in a deep league that is PPR. For wide receivers, unfortunately, you have to drop Keenan Allen. He's on IR, will miss the remainder of the 2016 season. But you got guys like Mohamed Sanu, like I mentioned earlier. Make sure you keep tabs on him. His injury. Robert Woods, only in deep leagues. I like Eddie Royal. Devontae Adams should be one of the top sleepers. Likely will be the number 3 most targeted receiving option over there in Green Bay. So make sure you look at Devontae Adams. Will Fuller's not on this list because he's owned in 60% of leagues. Also Mike Wallace. I think this is a good pickup in deep leagues. You have to pick him up, but he's going to be hit or miss. He doesn't make my list because I would not pick this guy up in a 10-man league. I probably wouldn't pick him up in a 12-man league either unless I was desperate, in those leagues that start 3 wide receivers in a flex. Definitely pick up Mike Wallace. Ooh, nice sleeper wide receiver here, Chris Conley on the Chiefs. Chris Hogan, not a sleeper anymore. You got to pick him up. Victor Cruz is okay. I don't see him being great this year, but definitely okay pickup. Nelson Aguilar is a guy that needs to be picked up in 12-man leagues and deeper. Eli Rogers, he'll be really good until Marcus Whedon's back. Now, when Marcus Whedon's back, I don't really know what's going to happen. I definitely believe Marcus Whedon will be number 2 wide receiver, if not number 3. So that would still make Eli Rogers relevant at the number 3 spot. So he's definitely worth a look at if you need a receiver. Terrell Williams, I think he will be the starting wide receiver over there in place of Keenan Allen. So look at him. Travis Benjamin's already picked up in your league likely, but if he's not, pick him up. And a huge surprise, which a guy I'm really excited about, is Jeremy Curley, but he got 13 targets Monday Night Football Week 1. I don't think that's going to happen every week. I think the game plan is going to change. I think it's more of a read offense where they read what's going on, and then just any play could be different on the Niners. The defense doesn't know what to expect, and as fantasy owners, we don't quite know what to expect. But I do know that Jeremy Curley is a top 3 receiving option over there on the Niners going forward. In deeper leagues, you might want to look at Quinton Patton, but again, same thing goes with Curley, and Patton is worse than Curley as far as we know. And in deep leagues, another wide receiver, Adam Humphries. For tight ends, I think Kyle Rudolph is a safe option. We have to see how he does with Bradford back. I think Sean Hill was looking at the tight end. He's not a good QB, not good QBs look at the tight end. Jacob Tamme, surprise here, 8 targets. That's definitely a big signal of things to come. Not completely sold on Tamme, but 8 targets is definitely not bad. I liked how the Falcons' offense looked a little bit more in week 1, even though they lost. I liked it. They didn't just throw the Julio Jones all the time. So you have to look at Jacob Tamme. You must consider him if you're in a deep league or need a tight end. Of course, Eric Ebron's on this list. Virgil Green's good in only deep leagues. Jesse James, awesome. A guy you already know about, I'm sure, on the Steelers until Ladarius Green comes back, if Green does come back. Clive Walford. Now, what I saw from this guy in week 1, it wasn't amazing, nor was it terrible. I think there's going to be a lot of upside with Walford going forward. Definitely worth a stash as a tight end too. And look at Brent Selleck. If Zach Ertz is going to miss week 2, he becomes a starter on the Eagles, a team that will likely have to throw the ball. And I guess the biggest wild card here is Austin Seferian-Jenkins, ASJ, on the Bucks. He did catch a touchdown, so just keep tabs on him. May not even want to pick him up. He's very injury prone, very risky, but just keep tabs on him. He's a guy you want to watch on the waivers. Lots of upside, no safety. For defenses this week, I think the Ravens defense is an excellent pickup going against the Browns. That's going to be a great pickup. Also, the Bills defense, kind of a sleeper pickup in what should be a low-scoring game, Thursday night game, by the way. Eagles, again, they're playing the Bears. Just like last week, I told you guys to look at the Eagles defense for a spot start. Again, week 2, going up against the Bears could be a good D. Packers D is already owned in most leagues, but I do like them this week and long-term going against the Vikings, a team that may not score a ton of points. Watch out for AP, though. He may just put up 100 rush yards this game. And more sleeper defenses in deeper leagues, Lions D, going up against the Titans, not a great offense, but then they go up against the Bears, so you definitely have to drop them. You could start them week 2, possibly have to drop them week 3 when they play the Packers. Then we have the Washington's defense going against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. We're getting super deep here, and the Bears defense going against the Eagles, then the Cowboys week 3, Dolphins going against New England. Hopefully they can keep that game close. This is super deep, though. I would not pick up the Dolphins D, but I know some people watching are in 20-man leagues out there, and a couple people, believe it or not, are in 32-man leagues. I don't know what that's about, but I do get a couple questions every year. Hey, man, I'm in a 32-man league. I need help. So for you guys, I got the Dolphins defense at New England. Then they do face the Browns, so that's a good week 3 spot start in deep leagues. For kickers, hey man, Josh Brown's coming back. One of the best kickers, one of the best fantasy kickers last year on the Giants. He was suspended week 1. He's going to play week 2. They already cut Randy Bullock, who made that spot start week 1. So look at Josh Brown. Love this guy for this week and going forward. Brandon McManus didn't have a great fantasy performance week 1. A lot of people dropping him. A lot of people are down on him. I still like him as a top 10 kicker this year. I like him right now. I like him for the future as well. Sebastian Janikowski, a guy I talked about as a sleeper. I do like him still. I'm really high on him, super high risk, but I like Janikowski as a kicker. We also have Matt Prater, Matt Bryant, Dustin Hopkins, Jason Myers, Josh Lambo, and all those guys are in order for ranked highest to lowest for my defenses and kickers. That's all the waivers for this week. Make sure you guys follow the link below to download the mobile app, the mobile Fantasy Couch app. If you haven't already, go to fantasycouch.com, fantasycouch.com/members to be exact. Sign up for an account. It's free. We also have premium memberships, which have a ton more features, but at least sign up for a free account. You won't be sorry. You'll be on my VIP waiver wire list. You'll get tons of tools, access to PDF files, the 10 Commandments of Drafting ebook series, ton of more options. Just check that out, guys. It's free. Sign up. Also, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I really appreciate all the likes, all the views, all the comments you guys leave below. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Let's get to 10K subs. I'll see you guys on the next video.